So I want to be more specific, but at the same time, I don't want to hamper performance.
All right, you're being positive about, you're seeing the good part about long locators. You're saying that you want it to be long because that gives you more specificity. That means my test will be more robust. I will never find an element that I didn't want to find. The bad side of that is you're being too brittle. If you define a single nesting level, it may find another element, but it will also be way more robust because the element will not, the locator will not depend on the parent elements of the final element you're looking for. So depending on how much your application is moving, you can go with the path of, I'm going to make it more robust, a single nesting level. I know that this ID will never change. Or I know that the content of this tag will never change, so I use contains. But if you do it long, you will also go down the path of making it brittle. And your developers may just decide to change the tree structure. Even though they don't change your element, they will change the position, and that will break your locator. You kind of choose whatever you like the most. They will eventually break your test if they want to, but they always do. You know about it.
Can we use Selenium to find bugs which may not be an obvious error? Like, for example, if you have a column in your database that has 100 text, but it got truncated in your web browser, so but you don't, it's not a standard cut. It can be any length.
Let me rephrase and see if I got it right. You're saying, can we use Selenium to find things like the browser truncating text for us, which we don't want to happen?
Right.
I'm going to say maybe, depending on the case. We got to know that Selenium is not a human being. We got to understand that Selenium is a bot, and it's smart, but not smart of a real tester doing manual stuff. So sometimes Selenium will, even if, like for example, if you make, I heard this in IMU, someone made the buy button be white, so it wasn't part of the screen at all. For any human being, the button wasn't there. And Selenium passed that test, of course. Selenium finds the button because it's part of the DOM. It doesn't care whether it's visible or not. It will never understand, oh, this is white, and the background is white, so this probably is not visible. I should make an error here. That's just humans. So you gotta understand the limitations in Selenium. And for the stuff that Selenium won't work, either do manual or implement something cool like Sequoia. You gotta have different levels. Jason Huggins, when he does his presentations, he always likes to do the testing pyramid, where he says how much testing you should do at each level. He always uses unit tests in the bottom, which are the fast, developer-oriented tests. They're way faster. They take 1 millisecond. You have tons of those. And you can write them in like 30 seconds. Now, you should have some of automation level, and Selenium is generally in the top. What I think is actually that on top of Selenium, you should have something else that tests things like usability, all the buttons to be really visible. You can do that by hand too. But the idea is Selenium is really high in the top, and that kind of testing is even higher. Hope that answers the question. All right.
Now we are doing for multi-screens, right? Means the web is for multi-screens and multi-devices. And the resolution changes for each and every device. And the text reflow is happening now with CSS regions. Means it's not accepted by CSS W3C, but the specification is out there, CSS regions. So there would be a text reflow and content reflow to multiple divs and multiple.
I see.
Yeah, means how do you handle this by locators? Because it may be in div 1 on a specific device, so it can go to a div 2 on a specific device.
So you're saying that depending on the device,
yeah,
the browser will make a different DOM for the element that you're looking for. That case is pretty hard. The only way Selenium works is by parsing the DOM and understanding the structure. If you want to write a single test that works on all devices, you should have a DOM that is stable in all of them. Otherwise, you will find yourself in the position in which you are like, if I'm running in this mobile device, I will try to find this element. Otherwise, if I'm on IE, I will use this locator. I've done that in the past.
Means the HTML would be the same, but it renders differently across different devices.
Okay, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Rendering is not really Selenium's core. Selenium cares about the DOM. If the DOM is the same, if the element is part of the DOM, Selenium will find it, will act on it without any problems. Now, if the DOM changes, that's another thing. And if you really want to care about rendering, how it looks, nowadays you can use Equally, you can use image comparison, which there's a great presentation of one guy in Jude Talk like a year ago. Jason Huggins also loves to link to that. It does like capture a screenshot using Selenium and then compare that the screenshots are kind of the same. I'm really against that because all the cases I've seen that it's actually super brittle. So it will fail depending on the resolution. It will fail if the element